Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be a new bot that has been doing very well lately. It is LunaxVRR. Don't ask me what the VRR stands for. Taking on the new bot, though, is an old staple that I'm not sure if it's always been at version 5.0. It is BenBotBC. The BC, of course, standing for Battle Cruiser. We are on the map Incorporeal. Oh gosh, that's a tough one. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, click that like button. Let's go for 53 likes on this video. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I put up daily videos here on the channel. If you want to get notified of when I do live streams and things like that, you can join the Discord, which is linked down below. And of course, leave a comment down below saying more bots. Apparently someone said that, someone said in the comments the other day that was like, hey, YouTube algorithm prefers longer comments. So I guess spam more bots a few times, I guess. That's all I can say. And yes, so we have got in this match, BenBot the Terran bot. I'm honestly surprised to see that it is not proxying Lunax, which is one of the things that I did want to see Lunax go up against. I want to see it versus more aggression. I think it's a very important thing of a new bot. But look at this, Lunax saying no bunker rush, interestingly enough. So definitely a bit of metagaming going on as Lunax is just sending out early zealots, which usually is and based off the chat tag makes me think that there is a anti-BenBot bunker rush sort of strategy initiated by Lunax here. And as we see, the zealot is able to kill an SCV building that bunker. However, the zealot will die, but they are doing a nice scout. So for those of you that don't know, Lunax seems to be a bit of a turtle bot that likes to build carriers, tempests, that kind of thing. And yeah, that usually means a bot is susceptible. When you think of a bot that rushes to carriers or rushes to tempests, that kind of thing, you think of a bot that's not very good at filling in the gaps and kind of just hopes for that late game carrier tech. But it seems that the bot author has put in some work to make their bot immune to common cheeses, maybe even specific snipes, because, for example, BenBot is a bot that goes for a lot of proxies, that kind of thing. But the fact that it didn't for it in this game makes me think that Lunax's opening is a good response to this. The action happening this early in the game makes me, it makes it tough to commentate, because you just want to talk about how exciting it is to have a new bot, the sort of philosophy that goes into building a bot that is able to climb on the ladder quickly. For example, Lunax does not even have speed mining yet it has been able to climb to rank 5 on the ladder. It's got a Stargate on the way, a Fleet Beacon on the way, literally no units, as those early game zealots died. And yeah, then we have got a starport on the way now for a BenBot going up against the Stargates of Lunax. Yeah, Stargates, it's already got 2. The Stargate positioning is not ideal, as it does interrupt the mining of the gas, which goes to show that there definitely is going to be quirks in a newer bot. Maybe not critical quirks, but definitely quirks. And I'll just go ahead and pull up Lunax's profile here on AI Arena quickly, just to give it a read, maybe look at some of its match history. I highly recommend you guys go to aiarena.net, and you can sort of peek all the bots' profiles. Looks like it's loading a little bit slow right now, but that's usual for AI Arena. And yeah, currently this bot is rank number 9, and it does look like that the bot author, if I had to guess, is putting in a lot of work in regards to I want to say, requesting matches. Oh, apologies, just one moment, please. As if you look at their match history on AIarena.net, it shows that there's definitely games that are being requested, and that is a sign that a bot author is sort of working on a specific snipe, which is a very reasonable thing to do. Lunax, although as I take a look at that, the bot author isn't a supporter on AIarena.net, which is something that you can do. So maybe they're not the one requesting all these games, and that other bot authors are maybe trying to cook up counters to this bot, or maybe they just have multiple profiles on AIarena.net. But for example, they have like 7 games in a row queued versus Zig Spud. So it's either Zig Spud's bot author initiating that, or the author of Lunax. But anyway, yeah, Lunax seems to be doing quite, or definitely isn't just like a new bot with one build. It's got some work put into it. The fact that it didn't just die to a simple bunker rush, and that's indicated by the fact that BenBot didn't even try the bunker rush against it. We do have Hellions on the way for BenBot, as we are getting multiple battle cruisers being produced. Lunax, though, is just making carriers, getting up very quick level 2 attack. Carriers are a unit that really benefits from attack upgrades because interceptors fire, and they actually have 2 attacks. So not only is there 8 interceptors, but there's 8 interceptors that each attack twice. And that means that attack upgrades are very, very big for carriers. Looks like the Hellions of BenBot are actually grouped up with Blue Flame. They are going to try and kill some probes. Looks like BenBot sees the carriers and says early Tempest. Not quite Tempest, but still carriers. And then Lunax just doing its thing, mining with its regular mining, no speed mining, getting up its 3rd base. BenBot is currently on 2 bases. Does it have a 3rd command center on the way? Yes, it does. And then we do have 1-1 on the way for BenBot. Likewise, as good as attack upgrades are for carriers, armor upgrades are just as important when you're facing carriers. For example, battle cruisers with armor upgrades are so darn hard for carriers to kill. So that could be very important for BenBot in this match. Is there Yamato cannon for the BCs? Yes, there is, so they can also potentially Yamato cannon carriers. The Vikings are being produced en masse in response to Tempest, as we saw in the chat tag. However, there isn't necessarily, like, you might want to build battle cruisers instead of Vikings against pure mass carrier. Vikings can take down carriers, however, if they get distracted by the interceptors, it's very difficult, because the Vikings basically have to right-click on the carriers and hopefully not die quick enough that they can kill the carriers before the interceptors kill them. BCs, they can Yamato cannon, they can soak a lot of damage, that kind of thing. For now, though, both these bots are just sitting back, chilling, building up. BenBot does have its 3rd base fully saturated. The blue Terran bot will have, and does have, a bit of a better economy thanks to the speed mining, which Lunax doesn't make use of. BenBot does build a planetary at its 3rd base, which isn't necessarily something that it needs in this case, as it's up against just strictly air units. I mean, we as the viewer can make that call easily. BenBot, however, is just a bot doing whatever it's programmed to do, and a planetary at the 3rd is generally safe. Widow Mines for BenBot could be very big when it comes to trying to take on this army. For now, though, it looks like it's probably going to be just primarily Vikings taking on mass carriers. There is +2 armor on the way for the Vikings for the BCs, which is big. There's also turrets going up for BenBot all over the base. Looks like there's a bit of Hellion harassment hitting this mineral line, although they're not quite diving into the mineral line. They kind of just rolled up and started attacking. Hellions, you usually want to dive them into the mineral line so then they can get maximum surface area. Lunax, again, is delaying its economy by having pylons built into that mineral line, but so far, both these bots are just building up. BenBot has a fourth on the way, no fourth from the Protoss yet, despite it having the money. And then let's see here. Planetary going on up for BenBot as well at this base. Still just Vikings against carriers. Both these bots are building up their armies. And yeah, I mean, with all of BenBot's static defense, I don't think it should struggle too much to handle this carrier fleet. But it is always a risk that if your army gets wiped, the carriers just lose interceptors, then they rebuild the interceptors and can attack forward. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we won't. For now, though, BenBot will have a better economy with that fourth base on the way. It's a bit bizarre that Lunax didn't go for a fourth. I believe it did in the previous match that I saw between these two. Okay, Hellions still driving around doing their thing. BenBot will have 2-2 upgrades done, so it will have a technical upgrade lead. And it looks like the Terran is getting ready to get aggressive, seeing as how it is maxed out. That's a good sign for BenBot if it can take the fight to Lunax, take an okay trade, and potentially remax quicker than its opponent with its superior economy. And BenBot's economy is superior compared to its opponent. But it's all going to come down to the fight. For example, we saw BenBot say attack with tanks. It really just has one. It's got 24 Vikings against 15 carriers. Will BenBot target fire down the carriers? That is the big question. And it looks like the answer is a solid yes. So the Vikings of BenBot are actually targeting down carriers and dealing good damage to them. This is quite an alright trade from BenBot. And looks like the Vikings do elect to retreat. The carriers are just hanging out. Or the battle cruisers are just hanging out. There's one Yamato cannon. Dies before it gets off, so unfortunately not able to get another kill. And what did we see? We saw 6 carriers go down for 20 Vikings and 1 battle cruiser. Again, not a bad trade for BenBot. My main concern right now is the lack of production for BenBot. It's only got 3 starports, and it probably wants like another 5, because you need to be able to remax once you lose your army. And at this rate, Lunax is building up quicker than its opponent. So far, though, no new expos going up for Lunax, as yeah, it has yet to expand, which makes me a little confused, unless the replay I casted earlier today was like maybe a version ahead or something, as I think it took 4 bases, but again, maybe I'm wrong. BenBot is going for some Hellion harassment. It does like that blue flame, and that can definitely help out. There is +3 armor on the way for BenBot as well. That'll definitely help out. Keep those Vikings alive a little bit longer. I would like to see +3 attack, as BenBot does have double armory, but for now it's getting ground attack, which isn't a priority. The Blue Terran is going out for yet another attack, moving out with Vikings, moving out with the battle cruisers yet again. This time it is only 15 Vikings, so a little bit less supply. BenBot does have dead supply in Widow Mines that it's just got parked around. It's got... doesn't even have drilling claws, which does make me a little bit worried, because those mines, I mean, they could potentially get a lot of value depending how... I mean... depending whether Lunax built detection or not. For now, though, the Vikings are kind of just taking this fight. It's not going too well for them, though. Battle cruisers do use Yamato cannon. One gets it off. Another one does fire, so looks like the BCs will escape. At least 2 of them did, as these 2 bots do end up taking a trade. BenBot's economy is still vastly superior to Lunax, which is barely mining enough gas to keep its production up. Only 800 gas compared to BenBot's much bigger bank. BenBot is building more Vikings, but again, it's building just like unupgraded Marines, and they're not really helping out. BenBot is also, yeah, like it's got all this supply and Widow Mines that are just chilling. It's got 10. It's got 2 Widow Mines at each base, it seems, but still no drilling claws, which really makes me concerned, because it's kind of a no-brainer to get that when BenBot has the money for it, seeing as how Widow Mines are actually very good against carriers, but not if they just fire and die. They kind of need a chance to recharge and fire. Lunax now is going out for an attack. So this is the first time the Protoss has attacked. We'll see whether BenBot can stop its opponent. It does have these nice bunkers loaded with Marines, Widow Mines. There's a chance that Lunax shall be stopped. Hellions, meanwhile, are driving around. They do run into a carrier and are kind of heading the wrong way. They will indeed just die, which is not great. BenBot building Hellions against mass carriers. Battle cruisers, I think, did get a Yamato cannon off there, but they're in trouble now. I'm not even sure their teleport's off cooldown. It is off cooldown, so they can stay alive for a little bit, but they're not exactly teleporting that far back. BenBot does have very good pooling on its Vikings right now. Widow Mine's going off on interceptors, but most of them weren't deployed there, so the Vikings do go for the big dive, one-shotting carriers. However, they are falling quite quickly here, and I think Lunax's just deathball carrier strategy is going to have a lot of success here. Widow Mines do hit interceptors, but there's many, many more where that came from. And I think BenBot honestly has just lacked production this game. I mean, sometimes dynamic production goes a little bit wrong for bots, but in this case, BenBot definitely needed to make some more units, as it had the money. And right now, I think Lunax is just going to roll this over. Very basic bot, but we saw in the early game it has had work put into it to at least get to this late game, where apparently it's just basic carrier control seems to do quite well. And yeah, that's very well done by Lunax. Like, its army did respond to the Hellion harassment, so it's not just a dodo, just with no brain or anything like that. And I feel bad saying that, because there is a bot called Dodo. I don't mean that Dodo. Okay, and yeah, that is going to be Lunax just showing us that it is a simple bot, but can take down some of these best bots. And I do look forward to seeing how the arms race kind of goes, whether the bot author stays active and keeps doing new patches potentially, or whether, for example, the other sort of more seasoned bot authors put in the work to counter Lunax and maybe sort of solve it. But BenBot definitely, I think, just needed more production in this game, honestly. That's it. Quicker remaxes, faster trades, and I think it would have overpowered Lunax. But it is a bit scary how high Lunax has made it onto the bot ladder without even having speed mining, which is something we kind of consider essential for bots. But yeah, very well done. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, click that like button, leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. Wouldn't be a BenBot game without a bit of build, supply, fail, spam. And then, yeah, just if you do want to support the channel, support these daily videos, consider becoming a YouTube member. It goes a long way. And yes, yeah, very, very well done by Lunax. I'll definitely cast a few more of its games. I did do a live stream this weekend, so maybe keep an eye out for more of those in the future. It was very fun to do some casual bot casting and to really explore the nitty-gritty of the bots and games that I don't usually cast. But yeah, let's just wait for Lunax to clear this up. No expos, which does make me wonder, because like this BenBot replay, it is from I'm not sure actually, but within like the past day. But I mean, this bot I believe was updated literally today. So it's possible that it's just been updated to expand, because the replays I looked at earlier might have been a bit newer. The pylon placement is definitely a little comical. Lunax is still building pylons, by the way, which is just a slight oversight as how many pylons. It's got 50 pylons. That is very, very comical. Not what I expected to look into Lunax's base and see, which makes it impressive that it's built this many pylons off of such few bases. But yeah, it just goes to show it's still a little rough around the edges, but it is doing very well still. Oh, I thought that was it, but BenBot decided to build a new command center. Try and rebuild, but that is it. GG.